Hi, everybody. This is Nate. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Meet the Psychic Press. I am delighted to have three guests today, Mark, Jane, and Renee, who will be asking me questions. I am not aware of their questions. And of course, I will be taking their questions and doing the readings during this show. Um, I am looking for more volunteers who want to participate into this show. So please, if you're interested to be one of the guests, feel free to email me and we'll manage to put you on the next show. So before we get started, let's learn a little bit about our guests and maybe with Mark.
Hi, my name is Mark. I am in. Do you want to know where state I'm in? I'm in Michigan, and I am freelancing as a designer, a freelance designer, mixed media.
Thank you. Welcome. And we have Jane.
Hi, I'm Jane. I'm from Virginia and I'm a small business owner.
Thank you for being here. And then welcome Renee, which I will have the pleasure to meet in person next weekend. You want to share a little bit about that, Renee?
Sure, absolutely. My name's Renee Barnett, and I live in France, the southern part of France. I moved here about 2 months ago from Los Angeles, where I've been a television producer and film producer, and also host my own radio show called Night Vision, which I'm getting ready to relaunch shortly. But even more exciting, I've just opened a center in Cuisa, France, which is in the Aude department or the Aude Valley in southern France, where we're having lots of presentations, tours, art exhibitions, all kinds of wonderful things, and where we will be hosting next weekend. Nate will be with us on the 25th and 26th. Uh, and on the 25th, we'll be doing a presentation en français. And on the next day, on the 26th, he will be doing his presentation in English. He'll also be available for private readings while he's here. And the more private readings he gets, the longer we'll keep him here. So anyway, looking forward to it, Nate. I can't wait to
Thank
meet
you.
you.
Thank you, Renee, and thank you for your invitation. And you've been really working a lot with the path of Mary Magdalene and the connections with France. So I'm very excited to experience that as well. So thank you for being here.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
now we'll start with your questions. And Mark, I am ready to take your first question.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, let's go with the history one. They recently found vast structures underneath the Great Pyramid using synthetic aperture radar. And look that up. What did they find?
And what is do you know the type of material, or can you tell us a little bit
It
about
it,
what it
it
is?
was it was structures like long vertical structures underneath that went a long way under the pyramid. I don't know how many feet it went, but it was a long like cylindrical mini cylindrical type shapes under the Great Pyramid.
Okay. Just a note, I visited the Great Pyramids about 2 years ago. I really didn't know what to expect there. It was very hot, and I had problems dealing with the heat. But I really wanted to have more of a spiritual psychic experience there. And I was not having visions, but I decided to put my hands on the pyramids. And lately, I've had more experiences with my sense, which is smell. And what I was smelling was basil. So I didn't really know why, but I took note of that. And then in the evening, I researched if there was any connections between basil and the pyramids, and I found out that they were using basil to embalm the bodies that were put in the pyramids.
Mm.
It's just fascinating me that I could smell it even though it's so old, but that's just an interesting aspect about, the clairs and how we connect with energies. But so I wanted to share that before I looked at these structures, and what did they mean? What does those structures mean? The structures. Okay, so the Four of Wands, so we see those structures very, very much. I think they had a purpose. And I'm getting two Pentacle cards, the Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like they had to deal with maybe work, money, trade. Um, I get the sense, and families. So I feel almost like they were maybe using those structures to almost like the word that comes to mind as a warehouse, to store products, to use them as a way to keep, almost like a warehouse would keep aspects of the things that were needed for the civilization. Um, I get like, I feel like food, I feel like almost produce in a way. Uh, I feel like this was to support families. So whatever families needed, it almost felt like a type of warehouse.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yep. All right. Your next question.
Okay. Let's shift gears here. How about related to the protests yesterday? The No Kings protest. Do you feel that that had an impact on the current administration?
Okay, let's have a look. I believe 7 million people protested, which is massive. So I haven't read on it yet. The first couple cards, I just want to see Trump's reaction to the protests. Oh, yeah. So the first card is the King of Wands. This is funny. No kings, and the first card I'm getting is the King of Wands.
Yeah.
We feel like he is Eight of Swords. It's feeling constricted. It's feeling like this is limiting his abilities to do things in a certain way. Yes, the Constitution and even cheating the Constitution gives him some powers, but I feel like he's feeling that the protest and the resistance is limiting his ability. He's holding really, really tight the first four coins, like he's really, really holding tight. But I get that sense of pressure. I also have Death, which is an interesting card when we talk about him, because that could be actually literal, but also a sense of transformation. So, did it have an impact? Yes, a very big impact. I kind of wanted to show these cards, the Six of Swords. It's almost like looking to go to a different place. It could be metaphorically or almost physically. Like his way of responding to it could be, a travel, maybe just to prove, like go to, for example, a rally and show that what we saw on TV is not the truth, that he's going to a certain place and he has a lot of supporters. So I feel like there's going to be some sort of reaction where he's going to go somewhere and they're going to kind of set the stage for having like a lot of MAGA supporters to kind of prove a point. There's a lot of ego, pride, but certainly it made an impact on him.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
that's interesting. Um, Another political one. Um, this one is did Donald Trump sell secrets to other countries? And if you don't want me to answer that one, I'll go to a different one.
No, I'll look what the cards say, but I think it's the first thing I heard. It's not even selling. I think he gave.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
What they're telling me is like it's not even selling. I feel like he actually gave. You know,
Wow.
what they're showing me is it's almost like, look what I've got.
Mm.
Almost like a pride, like a kid who have something in their hands that they're very proud of. So I can pull some cards, but the answer I got is like maybe sold, but I see more like giving away the tower. So something actually did happen. It's a release. It's actually shocking. With this tower, we might actually find out what was actually giving. And the next card is the Hierophant to a head of state. To a
Mm.
head of state. So think maybe Putin, think Netanyahu, think
Wow.
yes. Yeah.
That one hurt to ask.
Yeah.
Mm.
But we're
Uh,
not completely surprised.
I wrestled with asking that one.
No.
Let's see. All right, so we have three. Well, this one's associated with Epstein. This is kind of my own interest. Do you think Epstein was associated with any intelligence agency?
Oh, like he was like maybe a CIA agent?
Yeah, anybody, yeah.
Or did he have ties? Okay, that's an
Yeah.
yes. Ties, Epstein, and intelligence. Was he connected? Oh, wow. The first card is the judgment that to me tells communication. So I feel like there was an element of communication. But the Five of Cups and the Three of Swords like tell me like there was an element of disappointment. So either he wanted more of a connection or the intelligence agency wanted more of a connection with him, but something broke down in the process. And it's possibly when the agency found out kind of everything that was going with it. The energy that I feel with it is like he was connected with intelligence agencies, almost that they were spying on him,
Well,
almost like they were like trying to communicate with him, making him feel that he could be part of them or he could be an element in the whole connection. But in reality, there was like a full investigation going behind the scenes. So it was played, I feel.
wow.
Yes, I felt like it was played because I feel like I see communications, and so I feel like there was discussions, but I felt like they were using him to almost say, you know, almost like be connected with him so that they could go deeper into finding out more about the people that were coming to him to the island, basically the perpetrators. And so it was a way for the intelligence agency to get significantly more information on all the people involved, yes, who were committing those crimes. Yeah. So there
Well,
was contact. I believe there was a contact. Yeah.
well, yeah,
Yes.
and that's one of those things I don't know how much more I want to know.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure that it didn't end well, though. I mean, we know that, but it didn't end well. So something broke down in the middle of all this. But at some point, I feel earlier on at the beginning, that's where it was more intense. And then something didn't work. I think maybe he got scared, or some of those people that were going didn't want to be close to that. There was. I think something happened that created a disconnect. Earlier on, I felt like there was a connection.
okay.
Yes.
One more. Do you see Donald Trump being removed from office, or will he have health issues and leave office, or do you see him serving out his term?
Mhm. So I've always said the same thing, but I'm happy to repeat it.
Okay.
The I do see him doing the full term, except for health issue. For me, that would be the one reason. And I feel like he will have a health issue that will prevent him to do the full term. I've always seen him on a wheelchair. I always seen him coming out of surgery on a wheelchair. And I feel after that, things just get worse and worse.
Well, that's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you, Mark, for your questions.
Well, thank you.
And, and now, welcome, Jane.
Hi, I'm Jane. I'm from Virginia, and I've voted in Virginia many times. So this won't be the first time we've had a governor's race the year after a presidential. And everybody knows our governor candidate, Abigail Spanberger. She left Congress a couple of years ago to run for governor, and we know she's going to win. And we
Yeah.
also have our General Assembly; all 100 seats are up, and right now only held by it's blue by one seat.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's never boring. So we do think that we're going to hold the General Assembly. My first question is going to be about Jay Jones and his Attorney General race. His opponent is Jason Mayoris, who is the incumbent Republican Attorney General of Virginia, who is very good friends with Trump. And they came out with this October surprise that they've been sitting on for 3 years. The Myers campaign released to the press a couple weeks ago text
Mhm.
messages that Jay Jones sent about a Republican that were supposedly violent at the end of a very rough legislative session. He did not send it to the person he was going to get violent with. He accidentally sent it to a Republican, though. And all of a sudden, nothing bad came to James Jones. All of a sudden, it pops up in the middle of probably the closest of the three races.
Yeah.
Governor, Attorney General, and Lieutenant Governor is Attorney General. So my question is, will Jay Jones become next Attorney General of Virginia? That's my first question.
All right. The first cards are quite interesting. The Seven of Cups, illusions, delusions, something false, something fake. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like there may be something either that has yet to come, or there's a lie here, or there's something that doesn't feel quite right. So I'm just gonna put that on the side. But I feel like there's more. When is well, you're voting very soon, like in
November 4th is like 2 weeks.
okay. There might be even more things that are coming through up to the very end. Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
want to mention that. The second card was justice. So there may be, something legal coming up that could be part of something else that has yet to unfold. But also when I saw justice, it gave me the sense that they were really neck and neck.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, all that being said, because I rather give you a winner than be wrong. And I feel like if I pick, I think that he's gonna win.
Which one? Jones?
It Jones, yes.
Okay.
I feel like he's gonna win. I have the star. I have also some other indications that I see him, but I feel like this is gonna be really, really tight. And I feel like there might be some new developments between now and the voting, still some other things that might resurface.
About either
But,
Myers or Jones,
but
or
yes, but some of it feels also lies. So I
oh, of
felt like it's
course,
going to
yeah,
get really messy till the
yeah.
end.
Okay. It's going to be close. Yeah, a lot of times the attorney general races in Virginia are close, closer than the other two races. It's very rare for to have two parties leading our state. It usually goes one way or the other, especially these days.
Yeah.
So we'll see how those results go. But my next question is going to be about our lieutenant governor race in Virginia. And what's so important about the lieutenant governor is because governors are term limited. Every year we have every 4 years we have an exciting governor's race because the governor can't run for re-election, but the attorney general can. So we had a very competitive lieutenant governor primary for the Democratic Party, and the winner was Ghazala Hashmi, and she's a former educator, and she's very well liked. And my feeling is she's going to win alongside of Spamberger. And so my question is, of course, Ghazala Hashmi would probably become Virginia's governor nominee for 2029.
Okay.
So will she become governor as well?
In 2029.
It would be 4 more years.
Repeat her name,
So it
please.
would be Ghazala Hashmi, our lieutenant governor candidate now, assuming she will win in 2 weeks. In 4 years, will she become the governor after Abigail Spamberger?
I'm getting a yes. I feel like she's already thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
Because
She came
yeah,
around to meet
already,
people and she was
yes,
very, very impressive.
yes, she's already thinking about it. I feel like she's gonna be well liked. She's gonna keep a very strong position until the end. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's gonna be contested.
There won't be a primary except for her,
No,
right? That's
no,
what happened
no.
with Spamberger. She didn't have
Yes.
a primary. She was just
And
picked. Yeah.
then she might fundraise a lot of money, because I feel like that's another factor. She doesn't seem to have a problem to be elected governor. Yes.
She was really good. I mean, she came around to meet people, and there were 5 of the 7 lieutenant governor candidates. It was huge because Spamberger just got the signatures. Nobody wanted to run against her. She went last of 5 to speak to me in front of a group, and she was the most energetic one. And I was so confused because I liked all the candidates. But she seemed to have elevated above 2 other strong candidates in the primary. Right around the No Kings protest in June, she was really out. And
Okay.
that's a lot of candidates are so similar in a primary. That's probably how she won, but she's a very strong candidate. So we'll have Abigail Spamberger, and then we'll have hopefully Ghazala Hashmi will follow her after being
Mhm.
lieutenant governor. And then attorney general. I feel like the 3 of them are going to all win. That it's just like there's people so often vote with party now rather than splitting their vote,
I know.
Yeah. And then I'm going to have another question.
Yes.
The next question is going to be about some news that I saw earlier this week, that I found to be troubling, but maybe it's a good resolution for the time being. Los Angeles County has just declared a state of emergency because of the ice raids.
Yep.
And this is to provide financial assistance to families that are experiencing financial troubles and other problems within their communities because of the large number of ice raids in Los Angeles County.
Yes.
So how is this going to end?
And from what perspective? So will the state of emergency continue? Will they be
Yeah,
able to provide and help?
will the ice raids be able to end sometime? And and how will this resolve? I mean, like, will they succeed? Will they fail? Of course, the state of emergency is going to be there to provide assistance in the meantime,
Yes.
like any other flood or anything else, right? But the fact that you need to have a state of emergency because of an ice raid in a neighborhood,
Of
that it's
course.
gotten that out of control.
And is your
When will
question,
that end? Right.
that's for LA County? not
Well,
just
this is specifically about LA County, but it's
County, but
happening other places
yeah,
too,
yeah,
I'm sure.
okay, got it. So will they
Yeah.
have to keep these state of emergency for a long time, LA County? It's coming out of compassion, Queen of Cups, for people. The Fool, they're on edge. I think it's like it's this energy of being on edge, just not knowing like how crazy it can get. Death, it's very concerning. Like I feel like some people, are really at risk there. They're gonna keep it as long as they need to keep it. And my prediction would be that they're gonna keep it fairly long. I keep feeling like the county wants to protect people, and they're gonna protect it as long as the administration gonna have ice. And so I feel like it's not gonna stop anytime soon. They're stuck. On one hand, I feel like there's constraints when you keep the state of emergency. I'm sure that there are constraints when you have it on, but at the other hand, they cannot afford to risk people's lives. And so I feel like it will
Yeah.
last until needed.
And is is the news about all these raids, is it, I feel like it must be suppressed through the conservative media, the mainstream media. There's not much out there. You have to really look for information about these
Of
stories.
course. Oh,
I mean,
there's such a shift in information. That's in my readings. What I found the most is very recently, I mean, it's been a long way, but in the last couple months, a lot of information's been put down. And I feel
mhm.
like particularly anything, any numbers or statistics with the economy, jobs,
Mm.
I would not trust any of those numbers.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like a disinformation
Yes,
nonstop
yes,
show out there, right?
yes,
Um, that's really true, and hopefully it will get better. It just seems like it's going to take a while.
yes.
Um, and then with all this stuff that's been happening in DC with the government shutdown and a do nothing Congress, I have a question about Speaker Mike Johnson.
Yep.
Um, will Speaker Mike Johnson be replaced before January of 2029? Did I get the year right? 2027, I'm sorry, after the midterms.
Okay.
Assuming that Speaker Johnson could be replaced in January of 2027, would he be replaced before that?
I believe so. I mean, because I do see the midterms being a blue wave,
Hmm.
um, a blue in any
Yeah.
case, and so it will not be able to stay speaker. Yeah.
Will he leave any sooner than that?
Sooner than the midterms?
Hmm.
Let's have a look. The moon. It's like he's a lot of shady secrets. Every time I look around his energy, it's very heavy. Lots of secrets for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Um, Lots of backdoor deals, lots of hidden truths, lots of it's also money. There's a lot of you may or may not be aware, like he doesn't have a bank account.
Oh, I
Um,
heard that. Yeah.
yes, there's a lot of um, but I get this sense like he's gonna be more and more under pressure and isolated. But
Hmm.
is it and he's smart in his own ways. He has a lot of things going on for him under the surface, and that's what keeps him at this position. So
Hmm.
I don't think he will be leaving before.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think that's all my questions for today.
Okay, thank you, Jane, for your great
Mhm.
questions. And now we have Renee.
All right. I'll start out heavy and hopefully and a little nicer and softer. Um, what is the real deal with the Charlie Kirk shooting? Um,
We're starting heavy.
it's my opinion that it's not as being portrayed.
One thing that has come up a lot when after the shooting, when I've done a lot of readings, and it has come over and over again, a connection with a foreign entity. So I have not gotten to exactly where, but I feel like there's a foreign country entity being involved. Let's see what else we can get. But that to me is the main thing that I've seen. And that feels very odd compared to what happened, but in a way, maybe not. So
No.
yes, I know. I know where you're going.
Sorry,
So
I
can you
won't give
tell
my
us,
opinion.
yes, let's
Just
get
ask
it.
questions.
Yes, let's see. What else can you tell us about the Charlie Kirk shooting? The additional information I get there is that I feel like it gives me another information that there was a plan that was made fairly long time in advance. So it doesn't feel like it was like something that just happened recently. I felt like there was a plan. I see money also. So was someone paid? That could be a possible option. But I'm seeing like a whole plan behind it. And I felt like a foreign entity being significantly part of that. Of course, we get the tower. No surprise there. Um, but there was a plan, and then the Seven of Cups again talks about illusions, delusions. So what we currently know is not the truth,
Right.
or suspect is not the truth.
Not surprising.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how public this information is in the United States, but Prince Andrew
Mhm.
has recently given up all his official titles
I don't.
except for Prince. Prince for him to be stripped of his Prince title, that would take an act of Parliament. Uh, but he's given up. He's no longer Duke of York, which he has been, his whole life, and all his other official titles. Some people think that something big is getting ready to come out with regards to Prince Andrew and maybe just the Epstein files or the Epstein case in general. Is this sort of portending, his announcement or the announcement about his titles being all taken away, is that in preparation of something that's getting ready to come out really big?
Yep. Um, that's him here. They expect some opposition, so I feel like the energy I get from this is that information, the truth is gonna come out. More information from the Epstein files will be coming out. They're feeling on edge. They feel like this information is very damaging. So they're being proactive.
Mm,
They're being proactive. The chariot, like it sense of like things are gonna come, and things, when it starts, it's gonna go really fast.
mm.
Yeah, and so Page of Wands, those are children. So you see where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Minors, younger girls or boys, or the judgment information coming out. Um, so yes, I feel like they were proactive, trying to prevent all this information to be, and then so much pressure would be put on him, and then he would have to himself like explain himself. So they kind of like cleaned it up, quote unquote, beforehand.
Mm,
But that they show that doesn't change the problem. Remove from titles doesn't change the crime. Just because you remove a title, if you're a criminal, you're still a criminal. And so I feel like this is the heart of the issue here.
Yeah. So you do think that the files are going to be released?
Yes. And it will impact him and others. Like I feel like this is yes. Um, I get the sense like this shutdown is holding them up,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So that would be post shutdown.
Hmm. Yeah, they can't stay shut down forever. Um, we watched recently the hearings with Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, uh, and how she failed to answer really any question that was asked of her. And she had a list of insults, to hurl back at each of the questioners. So when they would ask her a question, she'd say, "How dare you ask me that question when you did this, blah, blah, blah." And really, she didn't answer anything. Uh, and I guess this could apply not only to her, but the rest of the people that are, propping up the current administration. Uh, how does she really feel inside? Does she, I mean, because obviously they're just breaking laws, they're being lawless, and they're the people that are supposed to make sure everyone else upholds the law. Does she have any guilt feelings at all about what she's doing, or even fear about what she's doing? Because she could easily end up one of these days in behind bars. Trump won't because he's got the immunity, but none of the rest of them do.
It's interesting because the reading starts by telling me that her goal was to really like stand firm and pretend that this was not reaching her, that but the but she felt really the bruise from the hearing.
Hmm.
Um, I felt like it from the moment that she came and the moment that she left the hearing, at the end she felt really burdened. So it's starting to weigh on her. And the final card is really interesting. The Eight of Cups. It's someone leaving. And so I get the sense here that she feels that either she will leave voluntarily or will have to leave because I feel like she can see this not continuing to go well. I don't see that anytime soon, but personally, I felt like this will be before the midterms next year, maybe around March, April. Um, she may be forced to leave because that pressure is just gonna keep stronger and stronger. But she started this hearing thinking it was all perfect
Right.
with a huge ego, and I feel like the fighting has gotten to her a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't doubt that at all. But it's funny that you're saying you think she'll leave because my original question uh, was how much longer does she have? Because,
Okay. Yeah.
but I'm more interested in like these people. They can't all be psychopaths, So it's like, are they conscious of what they're doing, and are any of them feeling the pressure from that and feeling like maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But anyway,
The
that was
conscious is really about what they show here is that it's really about doing what's good for them, doing what's it's not about doing what's right, it's not about caring about the country, it's not caring about the constitution, it's about what they feel is gonna help them very opportunistically led, frankly, and that extends in my view all the way to the Supreme Court justices. a number of them, where you see even the Two of Swords, they're not following the law. They're stuck between the law and their benefit. And I feel like this is where she's at, is that point where she is aware that she has to hold a certain line to keep the benefits that she has.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure she does.
And the Knight of Pentacles here, to me, that's like, it's a strategy of every more day that passes by, every more day I can benefit from the system.
Yes. Yes.
So if it can give me one more month, it's one more month. So if I need to lie to get 3 months, then I lie to get 3 months. And then after the 3 months, what's going to push me for another 2 months? That's the feeling I get when I get into our energy. There's no strategy. There's no values. It's what's going to get me through the week, kind of.
Yeah,
It's a survival mode. It's actually a form of survival mode.
That's right. And really, that's how the whole administration operates. It's like, how do we get through today, through this news day? And then, they'll deal with tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. And let the news cycle spin so that today's problem becomes forgotten and let's move to tomorrow's problem. They actually look at the spin cycle of the news. And so they're never really feel in the moment. They just always feel they're preparing for the next drama.
Yeah. Yep, that is true. Okay, a little bit different. Is it too late to reverse climate damage?
Yes and no. Some of you might be aware of what is called like the Stockholm model. It's an environmental model that explains from Sweden, that explains that there are 9 boundaries for humans to live on Earth. And once you cross a boundary, there's no turning back. Like once we passed it, we passed it. It was announced in October. There was not really much in the news, but it's a big news that in October we crossed the 7th boundary.
Yes.
And this has to deal with the acidification of the oceans. So really there are only 2 left.
Yeah.
So can we still find a way forward? I believe so. The Two of Pentacles, juggling between money and the environment. That's really the question.
Yeah.
Where the money goes, where we invest. We're already under a big burden. And all these cards are money, 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 money. And right now the situation is accelerating. And so it's really about our investment. Final card is the Ten of Cups. I want it to be hope. But it's the damage. And I always talk about that on my show, so I apologize for repeating myself. But one of the biggest challenge to the environment is AI. AI uses a ton of water. And so it's going to be where the challenge is going to be is resources and the water in particular.
How does AI use water?
I know that's a great question because AI relies on computers and servers that overheat, and in order to cool off those rooms, it looks like and I don't know those numbers very well, but like a simple AI query use like a portion of a gallon or a liter by itself. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
Not
that.
a whole, but a portion. And that's why I've actually putting on my channel, because I care, that if people would simply want what we can do is for simple queries, for a simple search on the internet, use like a Google search engine as opposed to AI. that would actually participate to protecting the environment. I know it's crazy, but it's true.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad you're letting people know that.
Yeah.
That's
That's what we can all do because AI uses a lot of water. You can research it, preferably with a search engine.
yes. I never thought of that. That's amazing. Yeah, well, that's good to know. Very good information. Um, is there something, is there really something hidden underneath Antarctica?
Oh,
We
wow.
a lot about big machines possibly being under the ice there and hints of extraterrestrials, but also of, opposing governments.
I don't see anything in particular, but I feel like the card suggests that there are some secrets. So I don't know what they are in terms of could be hidden things that could be. I feel like it's almost like a number of countries have shared information that there's something there, but I'm not picking up on what that could be. But I feel like there's an idea, a project. Doesn't feel like ET though, but I feel like it's more like could it be military or corporations between countries? I feel more military.
Hmm, interesting. All right. Is organized religion as we've known it on its way out
Mm.
in favor of more spirituality?
It's shifting. They show it's shifting to unite people more and have more of a social component. Um, the Latin root of the word religion is religare, and religare means to unite, bringing people together. So it's very ironic because we know through religions we've been having wars, and
Right.
so that's a bit of a conflict. But it shows here that there will be a shift towards something more uniting people and more social.
That sounds good to me. And I now live in southern France, and I live in an area that has lots of mystery and legends. And one of the main ones that seems to be uh, being proven more and more, even by some academics very recently, is that Mary Magdalene was here, uh, coming to shore, possibly at St. Maximum, but coming to this area where I'm sitting and living here. And if you talk to some of the old people that have been here with their families forever, their families have been in this area, they'll say, "Oh yes, yes, she was here." Uh, and it's handed down among the families and among some of the so-called heretical sects that were here, like the Cathars. There are still Cathar families, and they tell stories about her being here. But I will say not only her, but also Jesus being here.
Mhm.
So, but I won't go that far with the question. But was Mary Magdalene really here, where I'm sitting in this area?
What's interesting is I feel like yes, the cards. I will show you the cards. They're very interesting. First, the hermit. She came a little bit as a hermit on her own, moving her path forward. But it's interesting that the next card is the lovers. So it ties to her connection with Jesus. And then we have the priest. And so that's two particular meanings. It's the religious aspect, the Hierophant, the priest, and the validation of her being there. But the prince marries people, and so brings them together. So I think what you got in this answer is not just
Or-
her presence, but a validation of her connection with Jesus Christ.
yes. Wow. Well, that's pretty.
Deep.
Should we leave it on that one? Because I like that answer.
Yes, yes.
I
Well,
could
thank you
go on, but I
so
think
much.
it's a good one.
Yes, that's a fascinating aspect. Thank you so much, Renee, Jane, and Mark, for your fantastic questions covering politics and spirituality and history and some deeper questions. I appreciate your time that you took on a Sunday to be here. Thank you, everyone who's watching the show. We will be back. Again, remember, if you want to be part of the show, you just need to email me and you can be on the screen with me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much and talk to you soon. Bye bye.
I